Yeah, I can just feel the guy, the gravity of it all is causing Artman to shrink and been talking as much as he was a couple of hours ago. I'm gonna have fun with this. We do need a moderator though. Apparently, Mark in Ireland is falling asleep. Hakeem, he says he's got an early morning. I'm hoping that my good friend from New York City, Mr. Moonshine, my countryman, mi patria, will be able to come in briefly and moderate because this isn't going to take long. There is Mark. Mark has entered the chat. I'm going to allow Mark, the master of festivities, to set the ground rules. Mark, you've arrived. Sent you a link. Want you to click it. We have a debate on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. I passed my COVID test. I heard that Artman passed his. It's getting spicy. Nobody's going to yell at each other. Nobody's going to talk over each other. Everybody will be given an equal and ample amount of time to iterate their points. This is Ring IQ at a daycare center. Mark, how are you on this fine evening?
Good morning.
On this fine morning? It's actually Friday in Ireland.
It's 4 a.m. and on Tuesday morning.
It's Friday over there.
It's actually Friday of 2027.
That's true. That's true. Well, I don't see Fartman tweeting as much as he was earlier.
Now, be nice.
I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be respectful. I'm always respectful. But I don't like that he's throwing around slanderous libel about what kind of audience watches this channel. I don't appreciate that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. It's very fair.
I mean, honestly, you can't throw around that kind of slander just because somebody I mean, it's not even about not liking a fighter. I don't actually know what his debate is, so I'm going to give him the floor to decide what is his point of contention. Because I don't even know what it is he's debating, but sure.
Then once we find that out, then we can establish some rules, essentially.
Then the games begin.
Yeah. And then I hope one of you can bother you. I'm not going to pick biases, so I'll just put this nicely. I hope one of you can body the other one in a fast enough fashion so that I can sleep.
This won't take long, Mark.
Mork.
Mork. This won't take long.
Big up to the Ring IQ audience. Please hit the like button.
Held under the auspices of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, sanctioned by the WBC, Artman is saying he thinks he's going to flake. Is he? I don't know. These kids from this generation are not used to that 0 to 100 energy. They're really not.
After I bigged him up on my YouTube channel for a debate and everything.
He's literally just posted that. He says he thinks he's going to flake.
Wait, he did on his actual account, or is it the troll account? Because there's two.
Let me see. Let me see, because I couldn't tell what that was. Let me see. Claims Ring IQ internet service is quite faster than... No, it's not that. All right, let me see if this is... Is this really? Oh, no, that's not a real... That's not the real him. I don't see the real him.
The real one, if you type to it. Hopefully, you've actually agreed to.
I have. I sent it to the real one. That's the one where he's got like a green hoodie on. That's the real one.
Yeah, the real one is just one G on the yacht sign at the end. Boxing with a G at the end. Just warm.
Yeah, man, it's party time, man.
No petrified denim for us today.
Oh no, wait, this is the business hoodie. This is the business hoodie.
Is it Kegel?
There's no time for petrified denim today. This is the all business house hoodie. This is the changing the oil, changing the brake pads, changing the caliper hoodie.
Yeah, bro, I'm sat here with egg stains on my shirt, so.
You can't see it, but I just gave you a thumbs up. Where is it? There it is. There it is.
No, I knew you gave a thumbs up. Julius is the type of person who gives you a thumbs up with his eyes. It's true. See? Oh, God.
So
how's everybody feeling tonight, man? How's everybody feeling?
I want to give a special shout out to Jamel Herring, the WBO super featherweight champion. He's going to be facing Carl Frampton very soon. I heard he's in the audience tonight. Jamel, if you're out there, we see you. I also heard the trainer extraordinaire, Rick Ramos, the trainer of the undisputed welterweight champion, Jessica McCaskill, who's going to be in action this weekend. I heard he's out there too. We see you, Rick. We see you, Jessica. All right. I also heard that maybe, I don't know. Tim is a very busy man, but Tim may be here also. I'm not sure. And we're going to have fun because that's what we do.
And I'm a fair moderator. Even ask John Boxing. Even ask him. He loved his time last time. He saw it was great.
I mean, I have no reason to be unfair. It's not in my nature. All right, George the Doom Slayer with the 99. That means that George the Doom Slayer, in sending that super sticker, we set the ground rules. I set them earlier that if someone sends a super chat or a super sticker, they are thereby authorized to ask one of the panelists a question. And the question must be answered, otherwise it counts against the debatee's talking points. George the Doom Slayer is now authorized to ask a question. Now, as soon as the debate begins, George can ask his question.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm just waiting, patiently waiting.
Does that mean I have to read out the question to the person?
That's correct. Exactly. You as the moderator will have to read out George the Doomslayer's question to who it's being asked to, and they are tasked with answering the question. If they do not, it counts against their talking points in their debate. Okay. We also want to be mindful that Mr. Blade Films has also sent a super sticker. Mr. Blade Films is now authorized to ask a direct question. Same ground rules.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to wait for Mr. Artman. Because he wanted this. I was literally going to do a video about Women's Day, about International Women's Day. When I got home, I was going to do a video about that. Manny Crackiao is also authorized to ask a question. Manny Crackiao, all the way from California, is now authorized.
That's a phenomenal name, bro.
Exquisite. I wish I thought of it.
That's from Canada, by the way.
Oh, that's Canada. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Marie-Eve Decker, Yvonne Michelle. Shout out to one of my favorite Canadian fighters, Kim Clavel. She went all the way to Mexico looking for smoke.
Yeah, they don't change dollars in California to Californian dollars, Julius.
Look, man, I just got off work. So I am tired, but I got time for a little bit of action. Manny Crackiao is now authorized to ask one of the panelists a question. When the debate begins, remember those names. It's George the Doomslayer, Manny Crackiao, and Mr. Blade Films. Pietro S. is now qualified to ask a question. Let's go, Canada in the building. Shout out to Canada. Kim Clavel, Marie-Eve Decker, Yvonne Michelle, Oscar Rivas, Aleda Alvarez. Let's go. David Lemieux. It's getting exciting. A lot of people got a lot of questions. I hope that the panelists have the answers. I know I do.
You do?
Oh, yeah, man. Capricorn. Seldom ever wrong, except when Mark's involved. Then, yeah, we might be wrong. Mark's an encyclopedia. He's the only guy.
I'm a tired man with egg on my shirt.
Listen, man. Mark is the only guy. Punch Drunk Boxing is in the building. Punch Drunk Boxing has come all the way down from the Moonshine headquarters. He's in the building. He's in the audience. He's in attendance. Shout out to Punch Drunk Boxing on the road.
Also authorized for a question.
He's authorized to ask a question if he so chooses to ask one. Here comes Artman Boxing, all right? As the moderator, you must set the ground rules. Mark, the floor is yours.
Yeah, sure. What's going on, man? How's it going? First of all, what I'd like to say is both of you will have equal time. It really depends on your topic. I'll cut you both off when your time is up. And essentially, that don't cut each other off and you'll be good to go. Now I'm going to ask, since y'all decided to have it. Oh, I don't think he can hear me. Can you hear me?
I'll wait till he can.
Can you repeat what you just said, man?
Yeah. Sorry. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to allow both of you guys the same amount of time. I'll select the amount, like, to make your points. So you guys can each make points and cross-reference each other at different times. So I'll have a timer. You'll have a certain amount of time to get it in the time slot, depending on how big the topic is. I'll broaden the time up, or if the topic isn't that large, I'll lower it down. So first of all, what I want to know is what is actually the topic? Because I have no clue.
Me neither.
Well, someone had posted something like a request of what they wanted us to talk about. One of the things was Wilder's dent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to hear your thoughts on that, because I've been seeing you post on Twitter about how you disagree and this and that, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, first of all, Julius, do you think 2 minutes aside is fair?
Yeah, 2 minutes is fair. 2 minutes should be enough time to iterate your points clearly and concisely.
All right, Julius, go ahead.
Okay, my stance on Wilder's dent is there was no dent, because there's no way you could have a dent in your skull and not undergo cranial surgery. You cannot dent bone. You fracture bone and it turns into gravel. There's no such thing as a dent because it's not a car door. You can't dent bone. Furthermore, if his story did check out and he actually did suffer that kind of an injury as a result of being struck by a blunt force metal object, like an egg weight, he wouldn't be medically cleared to fight anyone ever again.
Oh, is that it? Okay. All right, go ahead.
Now that's my stance. That's my stance.
That's your stance? Okay. I understand where you're coming from. But, you know, Wilder, he's never been known to really lie about something like that. Seeing that he said that his doctor told him that he suffered some type of injury because of a blunt object, not a boxing glove, you know, it raises a lot of eyebrows. And you guys, your main speaking point is basically Wilder's brother not knowing the proper medical terminology, saying autopsy. That's what I see from you guys all the time, is saying that, oh, he said autopsy. I wouldn't expect a boxer's brother to understand the medical terminology for that. Wilder doesn't have to explain himself after that, because you guys are already demonizing him in the media. So why would he further prove by posting his medical records out there for you guys to, you know, evaluate what's going on? And that's my stance on the debt.
All right, Julius, respond.
Well, regardless of what Marcellus Wilder said, I didn't actually bring that up as a talking point at any point. In reference to the injury that Wilder claims he sustained, medical report would have proven if he suffered a cranial injury. Now, I know that he didn't suffer a cranial injury because he never produced a medical report that corroborates that. Furthermore, in the sport of boxing, if you do suffer that kind of an injury, your career is over. It's not a question of contentions. It's a question of you have a fracture in your brain where your brain is, and they're not going to let you fight.
There's fighters that came back with orbital bone damage. That's considered a major injury.
Hold on. Art, Julius hadn't finished.
Now, since he brought up orbital bone fractures, I'm going to ask you a direct question, Art. Is an orbital bone fracture near your brain?
That is something that can cause an
That's
injury in
that's
boxing
a
where you
yes
won't
or
be able to
Art.
continue.
Rules of
No,
engagement,
okay,
Art.
okay. No,
That's a yes or no question,
it's
Art.
not. It's
It's
not.
not. It's not next to your brain, right? It's not where your temple is. Wilder claims that there was a dent in his temple.
Can I
That's
ask
close
you a
to your
question?
brain.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, ask a question. You guys can go back and forth.
Is that type of injury consistent with the sport of boxing?
An orbital bone fracture, yes.
No. A dent in someone's head.
Did Wilder prove he has a dent in his head?
Did you prove he doesn't have a dent in his head?
No, but Wilder claims he has a dent in his head, right?
But you obviously didn't see his medical record, so how can you? The guy who got in the ring and suffered this injury, and he's telling me this, but you're on the other hand are telling me something different. So who am I as the fan to believe? The fighter who risked his life, or a man that's on YouTube?
Did he produce a medical report saying that he suffered a crack in the side of his head?
Why does he? Look how you guys are demonizing him in the media
That's a
right
yes
now.
or no question, Art.
Why should
Okay, if I can interject.
Okay. No, he
If
didn't,
I
but
can-
why should he?
If I can interject,
Okay.
right? I'll just ask one quick question. Did Wilder, like Julius is asking, did he prove there's a dent in his head, or did he show that his head was swollen during the fight?
He showed us a dent, the image of the dent in his video on Instagram.
That could have been inflammation, right? That could have been inflammation around the pocket of the tissue, because around the temple area there's excess tissue, and that can be blood flowing, which is normally corroborated when
But
swell.
that's
Normally,
speculation, because you guys
So-
don't have a
so
for
is-
sure answer, because you
Yes.
guys don't have the medical record. Neither do I. So how can you
How are you
rule
so
that
sure?
out of, how can you
Now,
rule that out of the conversation if
because
you
I
guys
just
don't
saw
know
a
for
picture
sure?
that Deontay
Julius,
Wilder
you can
posted.
go.
Wait a minute. I let you go.
Okay.
I didn't interrupt you. I let you
ahead.
go. I
I'm
just
listening.
saw Deontay Wilder post an image to his Instagram account where he has no dent in his head. Has Wilder had cranial surgery?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know, because I'm not in his camp to know that type of information.
Do you
But
think you can
if
have?
you're going
Wait a
off of
minute.
the
Wait a
picture-
minute. Now, wait a
Okay, go
minute.
ahead.
You're interjecting. I'll let
Go
you
ahead.
talk.
Go ahead.
Do
Go
you
ahead,
think
speak.
that you can undergo cranial surgery and go on to have a third fight with Tyson Fury?
I don't know. That's not in my field, so I wouldn't know that information.
Well, let's put it this way. No, you can't. Nick Blackwell's career was ended because of a simple brain bleed. So if you actually suffered a fractured skull where there's a dent in your head, your career is over. Now, I don't know if you watch enough boxing to realize this, but it really does sound like you don't. But
Okay.
do you know who Nick Blackwell is?
Nope, I don't know who that is.
Do you know why his career ended? That he is no longer licensed to box anywhere.
Okay.
Do you know?
Do you know who?
That's
wrestler
not.
is?
Don't answer a question with a question. You didn't answer my
What are
question.
you doing here? I thought this was some type of time limit. Why are you going on? How come I?
well,
can't
he
say my
still has 32 seconds on the time limit.
Okay. Go
Now,
ahead.
do you know who Nick Blackwell is?
Nope.
Do you know what killed Maxim Dadashev?
Yes.
What?
An injury.
What
Suffered
kind
in
of
the ring.
injury? What kind of injury?
A brain injury suffered in the ring.
Oh, a brain injury. What killed Patrick Day?
In brain injury.
Isn't Wilder claiming that his skull was dented in because of a blunt force metal object? Isn't that what he's saying?
But
That's time, Julius.
okay. So back to the dent topic. You're asking questions about you're not asking me how severe is it. You don't know for sure how severe that injury is. And there, this is the sport of boxing. You know how many boxers go into the ring with pre-existing conditions? Do you know how many boxers do that?
Can I answer your question about the severity of his injury?
This man, he didn't say it. He didn't tell you. All he said, he has a dent. He didn't say that, damn, this dent caused my brain to, he doesn't have to go into detail. He said what he said. And you guys don't have no proof to show that the man's lying. There's no proof at all.
There's no proof his skull was dented, but you believe it.
Like you said, you've seen an image. I've seen an image. Therefore, it's speculation. You don't have nothing proven. I don't have nothing proven.
It's
But
not
I'm gonna take the man.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
gonna take the man at his word. That's what he said. So
Now wait a
that's what
minute.
I
Wait a
believe.
minute. Wait a minute.
Okay.
It's speculation that he has a dent in his skull because he hasn't proven that. Regardless of what he said, the only
And you
matter of
can't
fact
prove
is that
that
he's
it's not.
saying.
And
Now
you
wait a
can't,
minute. You're
you
interrupting.
yourself can't
You're
prove it's
interrupting.
not.
You're interrupting.
So, okay,
You're
go ahead.
interrupting.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's speculation that he had a dent in his skull because he didn't prove that he had a dent in his skull. That's hearsay. That's called hearsay and conjecture.
I
He didn't
know what
prove he has a
hearsay and
dent.
conjecture.
Come on, Art. Come on.
Come on now. You
That's
don't have to
called
be
hearsay and
condescending.
conjecture. That's what that's
Okay.
called. If you haven't produced a medical report from a doctor that proves that you suffered an injury as a result of blunt force trauma to the head with a metal object, it's hearsay. Now, you have an image of Deontay Wilder. He just posted not but a day ago where there is no dent. Now, I can tell you it's not hearsay and speculation that that kind of an injury would have effectively ended his career right then and there.
But you don't know the
Now, wait a minute.
severity of that injury, though. You don't know. You don't know the severity of that injury. So
I
okay,
wasn't
go
done
ahead.
talking.
Go
Art.
ahead.
Come on
You
now.
just-
Come
you
on
just
now.
throwing
Follow
it
the
out
rules
there
of
like it's-
engagement.
Okay.
like it's a fact. You throwing it out there like it's a fact, but it's not.
Can't. All right. Every time he says something, don't keep interrupting him while he's speaking. He has a time limit. When he's done, then
can
you
let
can
it
go.
be known when this timer is starting? Because come on, it's not.
Sure.
It sounds like this guy's just going on.
I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
It's very difficult to tell you when your time is up and when your time is starting. When you're constantly asking a question every time he's gone.
Okay, so let's go on.
Right, Julius, go ahead. You've got 60 seconds.
Okay, now the severity of his injury. Now, Deontay Wilder, whose words you believe and you take at face value, his injury couldn't have been that severe if he's claiming that he was ready to fight Tyson Fury at any point in 2020. That's out of his own mouth. That's not hearsay and conjecture. He literally said that. So whatever he's claiming happened to the side of his head couldn't have been that bad if you could have fought Tyson Fury at any point in 2020. Didn't Wilder say, I'm just going to ask him a direct question. Didn't Wilder say that he was ready to fight Tyson Fury at any point in 2020?
I believe so.
So then, oh, you believe so? Okay, cool. So if you believe so, his injury couldn't have been that bad if you were ready to fight Tyson Fury at any point in 2020.
Okay, awesome. Art.
Okay. So, yeah, I like those points, but we're just going to say this. You don't have no proof of if it's real or not. What if this man Wilder is in the mediation and they have some type of gag order where he can't publicly state all of these information? What if there's some things that he don't want to discuss with the public because he sees the way that he's being demonized? You guys are basically saying that everything that he's saying is false, as if he has a track record of cheating or lying like Tyson Fury. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you believe the story when Tyson Fury said that he ate wild boar? Is that
Nope.
That's the reason he had an Nandrolone in the system?
Nope.
Nope.
Never did.
Okay. Why do you choose to believe this guy that has a history of making such asinine comments? Why do you believe that guy?
What is it? What is it? No. You're compounding the questions. You got to let me answer the question if you're going to ask me a question. Well, Tyson Fury didn't say anything for me to believe or not believe. All he did was deny that he struck Deontay Wilder with a blunt force object. Coincidentally, JD's Deontay Wilder's trainer, his head trainer, was there when Tyson Fury's hands were being wrapped. That's on video. I have no reason to not believe him.
Okay. So whose floor is it now? Is it yours or
No, I
You've
answered
still
your question.
you've still got 15 seconds. I paused for the question. Go ahead.
Okay, well, that's just it. But I would like to bring up the next topic that you guys that you got the fans wanted to talk about, which is the gloves itself. So can you go on and explain, do you believe that the glove situation is real? Do you believe that everything is just perfectly normal?
I believe that the glove situation is fake. It was made up by YouTubers, or it was fed to YouTubers by Deontay Wilder himself, and it's on video. that I believe it was Gary Russell, someone from Gary Russell's camp on Barbershop Conversations mentioned that Deontay Wilder paid a YouTuber $300 to start talking about these kinds of stories. That's literally recorded. So I know that this intel came from Deontay Wilder and was spread out by YouTubers that he paid to do so. The glove situation is no situation because the Nevada State Athletic Commission never mounted an investigation. Neither did the WBC. JD's is seen on camera watching Tyson Fury's hands being wrapped. Deontay Wilder himself said it's a matter of belief in his own video. He said he believes, but he never sought legal action for any of this.
Are you done, Julius?
You done?
Yeah, I'm done to answer your question.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and it's very interesting how you're saying that Wilder paid some YouTubers. So, are you familiar with Nick Asbury or Nicholas Asbury, who
Yes,
was
Nicholas.
a former sparring partner of Tyson Fury? You may have not seen his videos, but he goes into detail and says him and Wilder actually were never really friends, and he was actually in Fury's camp in preparation for Wilder. So, you know about his video when he showed the public video proof, not just speculation, video proof of Tyson Fury's glove in sparring with missing padding. And one thing I would like to mention as well, why do you think that Tyson Fury's team never came out publicly and said that Nicholas Asbury is lying about those tampered gloves, which he used in sparring prior to the Wilder fight?
Why do I think they never came out and said anything?
Why they never came out and said that Nick Asbury, you're lying, and I'm going to sue you for defamation of character because I'm a multi-millionaire star on an American company, ESPN and Disney.
Well, for starters, okay, to answer your question, they didn't file a defamation of character suit because there were no damages incurred. Had Nicholas Asbury's accusations cost Tyson Fury the Deontay Wilder fight, then you would have a legal precedence to take him to court because his accusations costed you that fight. A guy making up a rumor and showing a video about a glove with no padding in it is not a smoking gun. You haven't proved to the audience that this is the glove that Tyson Fury used while he sparred you because you didn't produce any evidence of him sparring you. Furthermore, your accusations are all unsubstantiated, the same as Wilder's. Wilder didn't prove he had a dent in his skull because he never produced a medical report. He never mounted a legal case against Tyson Fury and sued him for damages. Wilder was pursuing a third fight. So if you feel that this man beat you with a metal object, your course of action is to pursue another fight with him. Even though you claim he cheated in 2 fights, your course of action is to fight him for a third time.
Okay, so you
Your floor.
I have can I ask a question?
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
still have you have 11 seconds. Go ahead.
Who, me?
When Deontay Wilder
Okay,
found
go ahead.
out that Alexander Povetkin had tested positive for meldonium, did he decide to go through with the fight? Do you remember what he did?
Yeah, he ended up suing Povetkin.
Exactly. Exactly.
But do you remember when when Luis Ortiz got popped for PEDs and Wilder pursued the fight after that?
Yes, I remember. And Luis Ortiz did not test positive for a performance-enhancing drug, so you should probably.
He was banned for a little bit. He had to come up with an excuse.
If you're talking about,
it still cost whatever he did. It still cost Wilder, or it still ruined the first fight that they was initially supposed to have.
okay, first and foremost, you should probably know that what Luis Ortiz tested positive for was not a performance-enhancing drug. It was actually something that could be categorized as a masking agent. It doesn't actually add anything to your performance. Furthermore,
Was he still banned?
Are you interrupting me?
Okay,
Did
go
I
ahead.
interrupt you?
Hold on, Art. I've got your time paused so he can answer the question for you
Okay.
that you asked.
Now, the agent that they found in Luis Ortiz is a blood pressure medication that is consistent with Luis Ortiz's condition because coincidentally, right before the fight, his blood pressure was so high that the New York State Athletic Commission wasn't going to let him fight. What he tested positive for was a prescription drug, not a pet.
Okay.
Okay. Just a question: was he still banned? Did it still cost him the Wilder fight?
No, because he had it anyway.
No. So you're telling me that Wilder didn't fight Ortiz? He had to fight Ortiz even though he got caught. He fought him right away as soon as he got caught. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I said it didn't cost him the fight because he ended up fighting him anyway.
But it did cost him the initial first fight, correct?
No, he ended up fighting him anyway.
No, he ended up fighting someone else, and then he had to fight him again after. He continued to fight him even after he got cleared. But that's beyond the fact. We're talking about Tyson Fury's glove here.
You brought up Luis Ortiz.
We're talking about Tyson Fury's glove here.
Yeah, but you brought up Luis Ortiz.
Go ahead, Eric.
So who has the floor? I have the floor. How many times?
You have the floor. You've got 46 seconds.
Okay. So just to sum things up, don't you think that to have all these Wilderettes, you guys call the Wilder fanboys, to shut us up, wouldn't you produce the glove that he actually fought? Wouldn't you show it to the general public so we can all shut up and go home and stop talking about this? Why do you think Tyson Fury and Camp did not reveal the glove as soon as this news came out about him tampering?
Is it my turn?
Yep, that's my question for you.
Okay.
Why didn't he produce the glove so we can all shut up?
Because all of the safety protocols were in play by way of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the World Boxing Council, who were witnesses to Tyson Fury's hands being wrapped, including JD's, a member of Deontay Wilder's camp. There's nothing to disprove because all of the safety protocols were followed. Now, my question to you is, why do you place a burden of proof on Tyson Fury that you don't place on Deontay Wilder? You want Tyson Fury to produce evidence that he didn't cheat, but you don't want Deontay Wilder to produce evidence that he actually had a dent in his skull.
The reason why is because Tyson Fury has an extensive history of cheating inside the ring and outside of the ring. He's under investigation in his own country. That is the reason why. And he said asinine things like he ate wild boar instead of admitting to him having a high amount of nandrolone in his system. Now that I answered your question, can you answer my question?
Sure.
Why doesn't Fury want to fight Wilder a third time?
According to Tyson Fury, in his own words, he was open to fighting Deontay Wilder throughout several points in 2020. But the contract expired, so he decided to fight Anthony Joshua instead. That is also corroborated by Bob Arum and Frank Warren.
Okay.
Are you aware that both, they have it in writing, ESPN, both ESPN and Fox agreed to push the fight back due to the pandemic and the lineup of champion football games? And I actually have the photo image from the ESPN article that states this.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I'm also aware
that if both parties agreed to push the fight back, that Wilder has a legit case to get a third fight with Fury?
Well, I know that Wilder doesn't have a legit case to get a fight with Fury because Deontay Wilder, in his own words, said he was moving on without Tyson
That's
Fury.
not my question.
Okay, well, what is your question?
I'm asking you, wouldn't you think that Wilder has a legit case to get Fury back in the ring due to both parties agreeing to push the fight back, regardless of the timeline?
No, because the term limits of his contract have been reached. If you're asking me if he has a legal precedence to push for a third fight, no, he does not, because that legal precedence expired when the term limit was reached.
So you think it's okay to skip out of a contract due to technicality?
It's not a technicality when a contract expires.
Okay. Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
Let's go
Julius,
on
if you want, you can give him up all your time if you want. This is meant to be Julius's time. You've asked him.
I'll ask the question.
I'm just doing it real organic. I didn't know it was going to be like in this type of setting. So
Well,
Don't
it's
mind. Don't
moderated
mind
fair.
me.
It's moderated fairly for both of you. That time split.
Okay, so I'm all about fairness. So you can have the floor.
If you're all about fairness, why do you take everything Deontay Wilder says at face value, but you take nothing that Tyson Fury says at face value, even though it's corroborated by some of Wilder's own people?
Because, like I said, Tyson Fury has an extensive history of lying and cheating.
So
That's
does Luis
actually documented.
Ortiz, but he
That's
fought them.
documented. That's not that's not relevant to what we're talking about. You
Why
said,
not?
why do I believe what Wilder's saying over Tyson Fury? Wilder doesn't have a history of lying, cheating, and drug abuse. Uh, Tyson Fury does. And I don't know if you ever been around a coke addict, but in the community I grew up in, I've seen a lot of coke addicts, and they say and do a lot of things that are not trustworthy. So therefore, just based off that history, I don't trust and believe what Tyson Fury says.
Okay, well,
Over Wilder.
not trusting what Tyson Fury says is not a
Because of his
substitute.
document.
Are you
Hold
going
on,
to
Art.
interrupt me?
Because of his
Hold on.
Can you
documented
interrupt me?
history.
Art, hold on. Go
ahead.
ahead, Julius.
Assassinating his character based on events long since past does not assign guilt for what Deontay Wilder is alleging. You don't have any evidence that he had an egg weight in his hand. Quite the opposite. There's evidence to the contrary. His own trainer is seen seated as his hands were being wrapped. You have the WBC saying that those gloves, it's not possible to tamper with them because those gloves are kept isolated from the fighters themselves. There's no room for glove tampering. You have the Nevada State Athletic Commission, who was also present while his hands were being wrapped. So all the actual evidence is to the contrary of Wilder's contentions.
Okay. I understand that completely. Is it my turn to take the floor
Yeah,
now?
sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
How many glove tampering situations have the Nevada State Commission caught?
None, because they're there when none, because they're
None.
actually. Are you going to interrupt me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, unless you're going to try to
I'm humming.
actually slip an object in front of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, unless you're going to do that, if you're dumb enough to do that, then yeah, they'd probably catch you. But nobody's stupid enough to do that because they're literally standing there in the locker room with you, with a member of the other guy's camp, while your hands are being wrapped.
Okay. You just stated that the Nevada State Commission never caught anybody. There's been several deaths in the ring. There's been several situations where fighters were accused of glove tampering, and you're telling me that the Nevada State Commission never caught one, and then I'm supposed to be a fan that's going to believe their word because of what? They don't have a history of catching this act. So why would I hold them as anything that's valuable?
Because
to the
there's an actual
situation?
video of JD sitting there as Tyson Fury's hands are being wrapped.
Okay. What about them covering the camera? What do you think about that?
I don't think anything
Because
about that.
all I seen was a still image of JD's around Tyson Fury. Then I seen the camera go off. Can you explain what happened when when the camera went on?
No, I can't
when
explain
they
what
covered,
happened,
can you
but
explain what happened when they covered the camera, please?
no, I
Go
can't
ahead,
explain. Okay, now I can't explain what happened when the camera went off.
Oh, so you can't explain
Wait
what
a
happened
minute,
when they
are you
covered the
like, are you
camera?
Calm
actually
down, man.
Oh,
Man,
okay.
man.
My
Come
bad,
on.
my
Let
bad.
the man talk. You keep interrupting him. Come
Yeah,
on.
like I
I'm
mean,
I'm
it sounds like a lot of your talking points is just a lot of hearsay and conjecture. Because what's irrefutable is that JD's was literally sitting there while they wrapped his hands. I mean, that's not a like. If is it my time? Because let me get
Yes,
into my
yeah, go.
argument.
Yeah.
Let me get
Yeah.
into my argument. Every
Okay.
single thing you've said is hearsay and conjecture. None of it is fact. What is fact is that the WBC was present. What is fact is that JD's was present. And it's not a still image. There's actually a video uploaded from BT Sport, a live video where JD's is seated right there in front of Tyson Fury while his hands are being wrapped. And your conjecture is not evidence of anything. What I know is that JD's was there. That's what I know. The WBC was also there. The Nevada State Athletic Commission was also there. That's what I know. That's facts. What you're saying is belief. and you can't substantiate anything that you believe.
Okay.
You're bringing up instances that don't even directly involve Deontay Wilder to assassinate Tyson Fury's character when that has absolutely nothing to do with what happened on February 22nd.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. So
Julius, do you
now
want
it's
to
my
send
turn.
it over to him?
Yeah, I'll send it over to him.
Not yet. It's up to Julius. Okay,
I'll
yeah,
send it over
your
to
turn now.
Okay, so you said JD's was in the locker room in the Nevada State Commission. We did point out that the Nevada State Commission never caught anybody, so we can rule them out. The WBC
Can I ask a
president.
question?
What?
Rule them out of
Nope,
what?
nope.
I can't ask a question?
Can I
No,
continue?
you're
Can
not
I
allowed
continue?
to cross-reference.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rick.
So yes, so he wasn't there or whatever, but the Nevada State Commission, we cannot use them as somebody as credible because they never caught anybody ever. And you admitted that they put something over the camera. And when that time period, when they put something over the camera, we don't know what they did. So one would speculate that they could have done something behind scenes where we didn't have any evidence to see it because they had a blanket over the camera. How are you and I supposed to know what happened in that time frame when they cover up the camera? Wouldn't you think that they could cheat right there and then if there's no footage that we can see because they covered up the camera?
Is it my turn? Do you think that because you haven't...
That's a question. That's a question right there.
All right, I
Can
was
I
asking about to
can I
answer the
rephrase my
question.
question? Can I rephrase my question? Because I
You still have time.
Okay, I want a clear answer on this. Do you think that Tyson Fury and team can orchestrate some type of manipulation with the glove during that time period where there was no footage of them because their team intentionally covered up the camera?
Do I get to answer the question?
Okay, Julius, you have
No.
clean time to answer this question uninterrupted.
No, I don't think having an overactive imagination and jumping to conclusions is a precedent to assign guilt. And that's what you're doing. Everything you've said and your own words just now were speculation because that's all you have. Speculation. That's all you have. That's literally the foundation of every single argument you've made since you got here. Speculation, speculation. I tell you, it's a matter of fact that JD's was sitting right there and it's on video while they were wrapping his hands, and you defer to your speculations. I tell you that both the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the World Boxing Council had ambassadors present while his hands were being wrapped, and you once again defer to your speculations. I tell you that whatever took place in 2015 ahead of the Christian Hammer fight has absolutely nothing to do with the accusations that Wilder's making, because Wilder's not accusing Tyson Fury of nandrolone. He's accusing him of striking him with a blunt force object. And as it stands, neither Deontay Wilder, Shelly Finkel, JD's, or any member of Wilder's camp, nobody has produced a medical report to corroborate this. And those are simple matters of fact. Deontay Wilder, in his own words, used the term believe. Oh, you believe that he had something in his glove, so why don't you prove it? Tay Jones has been running around telling every man, woman, and his dog that Deontay Wilder would produce a medical report. So when is that going to happen? Because it's been over 12 months.
Are you asking me that question?
Yes,
Because
it's your
I'm not in
turn.
this camp.
It's your turn.
It's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's go forward. Let's not even think about the cheating. Let's talk about the facts, since you're a facts guy. Let's talk about how there's no fight date. Why do you think that there's no fight date with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury? Do you think that maybe this mediation with Wilder can be holding that up, since